I'm sitting on a plane to LA, trying to sleep, and I woke up suddenly to find myself thinking about doing a devotional for TFCs. I thought, what would I say? How would I communicate what I have gone through lately in my relationship with God? Would it apply to anyone else or help others in any way? And then I realized that it doesn't really matter, because my journey and story and experience is real and valid to me, and I remembered that I believe God takes things and uses them for good and for His glory. I remembered, which seems like a weird thing to say for a person of faith, because shouldn't it already just be a part of what I know as my foundation and be immediately applicable to my life? But sometimes we forget things. And maybe forget isn't the right word, but sometimes we have to be reminded of truths because things can get clouded, and they can get lost in what feels like a fog. Pain, suffering, loss, and negative experiences can cloud what we know to be true and make it difficult to think first on what we believe and have found to be true and good previously. Whatever is good, lovely, honorable, and true, think on such things. But sometimes the pain and anger hits you so hard and fast, you feel like you've been hit by a train, and you seem to lose all sense of orientation. Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing here? Where is He? Why is this happening? Or why did this happen? And the questions spill out like water pouring over a broken dam, a mighty rushing river that will surely result in your being swept away and consumed. And your feet drag the bottom trying to find some sense of stability, and your hands reach out to grasp onto a nearby anything. But alas, every tree branch, vine, or stretch of land is just outside your reach. And at some point you resolve yourself to the fact that this is all there is, and you want to succumb to the idea of just letting go because you so desperately want the struggle to be over. You have no strength left to fight, and you question if any of it really matters anyway. Get out, stay in, does it even matter? Now I can choose to insert salvation into this analogy in many ways. God throws a life preserver and pulls you to safety just before you're consumed. Or He dives in and drags your body to the shore, Baywatch style. And I'm sure these are at times accurate reflections of how He operates, but the way my recent experiences went down played out differently. You see, running alongside the rushing river of my confusion, pain, and questions were my friends and family. And as they ran, they offered me lifelines of truth and support and salvation, but I refused to take them. Why would a person do that? Why refuse help when you so desperately need it? Because as much as the river felt like pain, struggle, and death, I wanted to be in it. It was as if I was holding on to a boulder of anger that I didn't want to let go of, no matter how much I knew it was dragging me down and keeping me from reaching the peace and safety of the truth. I just didn't want to give it up. It was somehow comforting, and I felt justified. And as long as I held on to it, it felt like I was in control where everything else fell out of my hands. So, how did I get out? My people jumped into the river with me. They floated beside me and helped keep me up as I needed to catch my breath. They listened to the roaring river as it bellowed its questions and confusion and anger, and when I began to sink, their strength suspended me and allowed me space to rest and breathe as I struggled to hold tightly onto my boulder of rage. Sure, they could have tried to pull me to shore, but I would have fought them with every ounce of my being, seeking desperately to hold on to the remnants of what sense of control I had left. So, they stayed by my side and protected me as best as they could and loved me in the midst of my raging river. And what happened next? In having their presence, I saw also the presence of God. I could see that God was in the river with me as well. And I knew He could have dragged me to the side, knowing it was best for me. He could have emptied the river so I had solid ground to stand on. But He chose to float next to me until I was ready to see the truth being offered as salvation and let go of the weight of the anger I was carrying. Having the presence of my people allowed me to know the presence of the Father, and ultimately helped me to let go and get out of the water. I was no longer consumed by the rushing flood of pain, sadness, confusion, questions, and doubt, but even as I climbed out of the water, I was drenched and weighed down. the aftermath of my time spent in the river. And my people and God, where were they? With me. Arms outstretched, towels waiting to help me dry off and find warmth in the embrace of truth and relationship. And me? Where am I? Damp, but on my way. Allowing God to answer questions and finding peace in the places I've yet to find answers, and where I've found them but want different ones. And what comes next? Finding others' rivers to climb into and looking for ways to repay the gift that has been given to me. May I be able to pay forward the goodness I've experienced, and may it impact others in the same way it has me. I guess as I sit here recording this, I think about Ecclesiastes chapter 4, which says, "A person standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but two can stand back to back and conquer. 3 are even better, for a triple braided cord is not easily broken." And I just think about the fact that we need each other. We need each other to support each other, to speak truth and love and life into each other. And we need each other to sometimes just climb into the water, climb into the doubt and the questions and the confusion and the pain and the sadness and the loneliness. And we needed to climb into relationship with each other. But we can't do that if we're not looking for opportunity. So, as we go around, look for the opportunity. Where are the places that you can be the presence of God in somebody else's life to help them be able to know or remember that God is present with them in all things? Your presence makes His presence known. So be the presence of God today.